Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, everybody. Do you think that dates it too much, mate?
Um, it does kind of lock it down to one particular time period.
Yeah. Well, anyway, everybody loves Christmas. So this is the Prison Architect Alpha 5 video. I am Mark Morris. I am the producer of Prison Architect. Chris DeLay is the director, creative
Designer, actually.
designer.
Yeah.
Changes every
Or
week.
creative
So
director.
what are we going to look at today, mate?
Yes, well, we've got a number of new features to look at. So here's our test prison that we've often used to try out these various things. The first thing that I'm going to show is a new feature in the deployment screen. Right, so if you remember, this is where you deploy all of your guards to different sectors and so on. And the first new feature is staff-only zones. So you can now pick a zone, like say the kitchen would be an obvious choice, and you can tag it to be staff-only. Right? Or maybe these offices as well. They turn red. And what this does is it prevents the inmates from going there in its entirety. Like they'll never route through there again.
Right.
So previously you could set properties on a door, like to make a door staff-only, but it never quite made sense because it kind of depends which direction you're going through the door, whether you're allowed through or not.
Right.
Now, an interesting use of it, obviously you can use it to secure away areas that prisoners are not allowed to go into, like the morgue, for example. But you can also use it to control the flow of your prisoners around your prison.
You don't want prisons in a morgue.
Yeah, exactly. If they're
they
in the
do
morgue, they're up to
horrible
bad things. Yeah.
They do horrible
So, for example, this little utility corridor here, for example, you may decide that you don't want any prisoners going down there. So you tag that as staff only, and you can use this staff only zone to influence the direction that your prisoners take to do things.
Can a guard take a prisoner through that?
Yes, a guard can take a prisoner through. Prisoners can be escorted through, they just can't go through on their own. So if I turn on navigation and then fast forward to shower times, you'll see now that all the prisoners route out of their cells and go to the shower, but none of them go through the newly tagged staff-only corridor. Right? In fact, some of them actually walk all the way around just to avoid going through it. And so we've controlled the flow of our prisoners.
Come out here in the cold.
Yeah.
Before I can have my shower, man.
We've controlled the flow of our prisoners around our prison, basically, and that's a useful thing to do for security reasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Showers are broken there, mate.
Where? Where are the showers?
Bottom right. There's water everywhere.
They're meant to be water everywhere. It's a shower.
Yeah, it's just drains them blocking.
What's next? Right, so I also have... do you ever find... Well, yeah, maybe you don't find it very often, but a number of people have found that this sometimes happens in their prison. Right?
Jesus, have we got like a load more workmen or something? I've never seen that menu be that big before.
Which one? Ah, see, this is the cheat menu. Right, from this menu I can spawn anything, including fire. Right, which I've just done. Now, fires are quite rare at the moment. They do occur in the current builds, but they're rare. And sometimes prisoners have got lighters and they'll set fire to things if they get the chance. And if it happens, you're basically screwed because there is no way to do anything about it.
I feel that you were screwed, but having downloaded Alpha 5...
Having downloaded Alpha 5, though, a new feature
no
appears to launch fire engines, to call fire engines into your prison.
Yes.
So here they come.
Deploy fire.
Now, they're a special unit, fire engines. Right? They'll pop up. They show up. You see this sort of new toolbar on the right-hand side? Right.
Oh, yeah,
so we can any sort of emergency call-out units, of which there are only 5 at the moment. The others aren't finished yet. They show up in this special unit toolbar, and you can click on them to select all 4 of them at once, like so. Control them around if you want to. Actually, I should probably send them to the fire, shouldn't I? Before this demonstration gets out of hand. And you can click on them individually as well if you want to direct them individually. And so there's kind of a slight micromanagement job in terms of organising your firemen so that they're in the right place so as best to deal with the fire.
Do a bit of boundary calling.
Yeah, and so if you and you can actually manually aim as well. So you can hold down the H key and manually aim. See what I'm doing there? So this guy's just trying.
Is that a prisoner? Is that Edward? Edward's down there with the preacher.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You better get a team in there, mate. You'll go to hell if the preacher
really
dies.
Let's face it. But, plot spoiler. That's terrible.
Oh yeah.
And so by moving your firemen around the fire and gradually spreading them out, you can control the fire. So no longer, if you spend hours and hours working on an absolutely fantastic prison and then it catches fire, no longer do you have to actually worry that it's the end of your prison, because now you can do something about it.
You've got a shot.
I'm planning on making it so that these call-out units eventually cost money to use, almost like you get a fine, the more often that you have to call them out. And when you they'll automatically stop spraying once they have put the fire out, and when you're done with them, you just kind of send them all back to the fire engine, and they'll leave.
Yeah.
They'll leave the prison, and that sort of ends the time that they're there.
Right.
And there you go. Fire
Cool,
engines.
mate. It's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very
Good.
Cool.
And there you go. They've totally finished. So you can click
Yeah.
on them all.
Well done. Did they
I see
say
all that
and they
dinging
preached
there and banging is the $2,000 or $1,000 repair bill for everything that just got burnt down.
Right.
Because your workman will automatically repair all of the things that were broken.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's fire engines. The third feature,
Very
quite a basic feature in the game, is the foundations tool. It's there kind of right from the beginning. It's always been a little bit quirky and annoying to use.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of people at Minecon
Yes,
struggling with the
Minecon in
foundations
particular
thing,
a lot of people seem to be stuck trying to expand buildings. And so I've made a number of improvements to it. So one thing to point out is at the moment I have a cheat code on so that as soon as I build things, they appear immediately. I don't need workmen to build stuff at the moment. But one big improvement, for example, is that just a single door now will actually be enough for that entire building. So previously you had to place a door in each of the 3 segments. And then
Nice. So
it's a lot clever about that. Now the majority of people that have problems with the foundation tool are trying to expand an existing building, and I've improved that as well. So if you decide that you want to expand this solitary confinement area, for example, you can just build like this. Your workman will do the work, and it automatically recognises that's an expansion and even demolishes the inside wall for you. Right, so you can expand as much as you wish. You can do the same thing there.
That's very nice.
And it doesn't ask you to put doors in place because it knows that when it's demolished the wall, it will be fine. But if you want to keep the wall, if you want to make a new room, for example, you can do that too. You can just draw an extension like this, say. But you notice that what I've done there is I have not gone over the inner wall. Right? It's next to the inner wall. So this does require a door. So I'll place a door in, like so. Right? And because it's one away, it now builds a new... Ooh. I thought it crashed for a second there. It now builds a new room on the edge and leaves the inner wall intact. And so you've expanded in a different way.
Good, you've got the option. Got the options to do that. Very cool.
And the other thing that you can do for the first time ever, although it seems fairly obvious, but you haven't been able to do it until now, is you can right-click to cancel foundations. Because previously, once you'd told it that you wanted to build foundations, there was no way to cancel.
They were like foundation building machines. I will build.
So now you can, just like everything else, you can right-click and cancel the whole job. And that is the major new features of the game for Alpha 5.
Fantastic. Fantastic. There's also, I have seen the change list, there's hundreds of bug fixes and things in there as well. You can download Alpha 5 from prison-architect/builds.html if you're an Alpha customer. If not, visit prison-architect.com, become an Alpha customer, get involved, start building your prisons. Would love to hear from you. Merry Christmas, everyone.